back, everybody. My name is Tim, and this is another Real Ideal Gear Review. Today we're looking at the Hamilton Khaki Field Chronograph. This is a beefy fellow. This is a big watch. It's an automatic mechanical watch, and it's one of my favorite chronographs because it is such a big, beefy watch. I've actually kind of gone the whole 9 yards with this and put another strap on here from Strap Code. And, it's just one of those things that if you're going to be the big, heavy watch, let's go all out on this, and that's what I've done with this watch. So we'll talk about the 5 things that I go through when it comes to analyzing maybe a potential purchase for a watch. One of them is size, then fitment, finish, accuracy, and I wrap it up with legibility and lume. So let's start with size. This is a heavy, big dial watch. It has a larger watch. It is a heavy watch. This is definitely not for small wrists. And even those of you that don't like a heavy watch, this is not going to be a watch for you. This is definitely a beefy fellow. So for those of you with a medium to medium large to large extra large kind of wrist, this is going to be the watch for you. It's just a big watch. It's tall on the wrist. It's lug to lug long. It's diameter wise, it's wide. So overall, this is just going to be one of those watches that is for the bigger wrists out there. And also, I think because of the weight, you're going to have to wear this watch a little more snug so that you don't have a lot of slop back and forth as you're doing daily activities and things like that. It'll start to wear on your wrist if it's too loose on your wrist. It has, as far as size go, it has nice, good sized pushers. The crown is nice sized. So as far as the size of those 3 things, that does a great job as far as like getting a good grip on the crown or even the pushers. The pushers are firm. Like you got to really press them in there to make them click and get the chronograph to start up and stop and reset. It is a quick reset on the chronograph. So when you press that reset button at the 4 o'clock position, it is a quick reset. As far as fitment goes, it came with a leather strap, and it was okay. The leather strap was nice. It was kind of that olive drab. It really was a nice color match to the watch, but I just thought that the strap code thing, I actually bought the strap code band or the bracelet for the Orient Kamasu, which I don't have anymore, but I saw that and I looked at my Hamilton Khaki Chrono, and I was like, I think that one better fits that overall aura of the watch. So I threw it on here and I've not looked back. I think it actually looks really nice on here. It's an excellent fit and it's easy to adjust. I also added a ratcheting clasp on here, which is big. So the normal clasp is normal size. This one's a little bit longer. And so under the wrist, you have this longer clasp. I got that from Long Island Watches and it works great. I mean, you can make that adjustment on the fly on your wrist, no pins to move around, things like that. So I do like that, but it is long on there. The overall finish, it's bead blasted with a brushed bracelet. A dark black dial, so the contrast is really good between those two. And the finish on the hands and on the second hand, especially the red tip on the second hand, is great. I just love that little flavor of color on there, even though the whole dial is black. The finishing on that is great. It's a large sapphire crystal on the top. The numbers are large, easy to read. We'll get into legibility and lume here in a minute. But everything is large on here, which is great. You just have to get used to the idea that you're buying a large watch. The crown itself, good size crown, like I said before, it also has texture on it so that you can grip the crown nice and quickly and make that those changes as necessary. Accuracy is excellent. This is a Valjoux movement, and it's an excellent automatic movement. No issues with it. Like I said, it has a snapback chrono hands. You have the chronograph indicators at the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock. So the chronograph at the 12 o'clock is your minutes, and the hours is at your 6. The 9 o'clock subdial is the running seconds. So if you want to know if your watch is running, you look at that, and it has a nice smooth run to it. The running second hand does a good job because it doesn't take up much space. It lets you know if the watch is running. And, if you're going to measure something, like you want to measure time by seconds, you're going to use the chronograph anyway. So I really think the running second hand at the 9 o'clock position is perfect the way that it's set up. Legibility and lume, everything's big on this watch. The numbers are big, the hour markers, the indices are big, the pushers are big. Everything is easy to read. The lume on this is excellent. I would say very good to excellent. Because it's old radium lume, it doesn't have the staying power that it would have if it wasn't old radium lume. So that part of it I think is just a concession that you make because it's a little bit more of a vintage look to it. The subdials are easy to read. And again, because the dial is so big, the subdials can be bigger. So this is part of that, you're stepping into a larger watch for a reason. There's some benefits to that. I don't have to really worry about reading this watch with reading glasses at all, even at night. Everything on there is very legible, even though it's a little bit blurry for me. Daytime or nighttime, easy read. It's also, I think, a very durable watch, a very rugged watch. It's heavy duty. The case is heavy duty. You have sapphire glass. It is a solid case back on there, so you don't have to worry about that. Everything about this watch really speaks to, I think, just durability. Water resistance is 100 meters. The rotor on this is loud. So we get into some of the comments. It has a rotor that when it's going, I mean, you can hear it. You can actually feel it spinning on your wrist. The first time I noticed it, it was like, what is moving my wrist? And it was the watch. And I must have bumped something or whatever. And the rotor just took off and was doing 100 RPMs a minute or whatever it was. And it was really going. But you can feel it and you can hear it, especially if you set the watch down on a table and the table helps resonate the sound. But it's a good work watch. I use it for work. I wear it to work, lawn mowing. I wear it, with just about every job other than if I was doing rock or gravel, that kind of work. That's just not something I'd put that kind of a watch through. I'd probably go with a Casio with a plastic case and resin band and all that. But other than that, I have no fear of wearing this thing for any type of lawn work that I have, power tools, that kind of thing. No issues with even like that kind of moderate shock, even with athletic activities. It's tall on the wrist. So one of the things I think you have to keep in mind with this watch, because everything on it is big, is that it will stick up off your wrist. The profile above your wrist is high. And so the snagability of this watch on things as you're doing things is there. And I think the counterpart to that, it's a bead blasted stainless steel case. It's a sapphire crystal. So you have some things that lend themselves to durability and less scratches and less wear marks on it, even though it does sit high in the wrist. So all of that together, I think, is very helpful. The score I'd give on this watch is probably an 8 out of 8 out of 10. There's just a few things about it that are, it's just a big watch. The leather strap that it came with, I don't know why they gave a leather strap. It should have come with a metal bracelet to start with because it's so heavy and big. It really needs to be something more than a leather strap. It's a tall watch. It's just the way it is. You buy it that way. At the same time, it's kind of a ding on it as well. And it's heavy, which also means that this watch needs to be more snug to the wrist. So that is a ding on there. But the plus side is that it is easy to read. Legibility is good. Good lume. It's a bead blasted case, sapphire crystal. So all in all, I think 8.8 out of 10 is a pretty good rating for it. And I would definitely recommend it for anybody who's looking for a larger, beefier style chronograph. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear review. Leave your comments and questions below. I'm always looking for something to review or chat about. And wish you guys all a great day. And we'll talk to you later.